So when I was growing up, I was a little girl, I had a dream. And naturally, I was going to be a prima ballerina and find a cure for cancer, as well as get a Barbie dream house, mom and dad, hello. But the biggest dream that I had in my heart was that I wanted to be a wife and a mom. And I could picture it, and I could feel it. And I, for a long time, thought maybe I would actually marry Ken, but my brother pulled off his arms and his head, and Ken and I just, it never worked. But I always felt like that was part of my destiny, to be a wife and a mom. And as life would go, and I grew up, I was so fortunate to choose a career and be welcomed and embraced in a career in television news for more than 20 years. And things were going well. I was a meteorologist, so worked all over the country, and a feature reporter, getting to interview amazing women, everyday extraordinary women, and some kind of cool celebrities, name dropping Jennifer Aniston, Vince Vaughn, Robin Williams. I really had to pinch myself at times that I was living the dream. And then I woke up one day and I was like, holy crap, I forgot to get married and have a family. And it really wasn't that I had forgotten, it was more that I hadn't made it a priority that I had put career first. So I started to get really serious, like, all right, let's get this stuff done, my friends. We are getting this done. So I was probably late 20s, early 30s, and I was like, wow, all my siblings are married, all my friends, they all have families. I want to pour into this and get serious. And so I went on like 4,000 online dating websites, which my beautiful friend Linda can attest to. And I set out on a journey of trying to fulfill that dream. And what I realized, can we get really honest here? Yeah, this is our safe zone, because I go deep. What I realized over time was that I was attracting men who had addictions, who suffered from depression, who were really amazing in certain areas of their life. And there was always at least one thing that was a big block or a big barrier for me being able to see them as my life partner. And so what I decided to do was look at the one thing that was in common in all of these disastrous relationships and all of these things that weren't working out. And guess what that one thing was? Me, exactly. So I started on a path of deep inner work, my spiritual awakening journey, if you will. And what I realized was that I had some deep inner work to do. Because I could attract some great guys, and we'd have fun, and they were, good looking, and we'd have some cool adventures, but there was nothing that was speaking to my heart. And so it was about that time where I also decided, in addition to really doing some deep work on myself, that I wanted to go back to school, get my master's in spiritual psychology, because I felt like there was something within me calling to serve the world at a different level than I was in TV news. Not a better or a higher level, but there was just some soul purpose within me that was saying, I gotta go for this, and I gotta do this. And it stemmed from my childhood. And so what I started to see as I was working on really trying to dig into what is it, why am I attracting these men that are unavailable or have addictions or just are struggling with something and they're not my person. And what I started to see is that I had some very, very deep limiting beliefs about marriage and family. So I have 4 G's that I want to share with you today. They have nothing to do with speed or anything in the military, but the 4 G's have helped me work through my blocks and my barriers to get to the place where I manifested, I attracted this amazing man and baby into my life. I don't say any of this to impress you, I say this to impress upon that if there's anything in your heart right now that is your big dream, I don't care how small or simple or pure or big or challenging or rocky you think it is, I know from the deepest part within myself that it is possible for you. And there is a way to work through where you are now to get to your dream. So the 4 G's, we'll spell it out for you. The first one is getting clear on your limiting beliefs. Getting clear on those limiting beliefs. For me, what mine was, and I'll just put it out there, I've done a ton of therapy. I've been in women's groups. I was just like, what is it about me? Why can't I find my person? It didn't hit me for many, many years. And it was like an onion layer, like I was kind of peeling away and I was going through one layer, no, that's not it. Going through the other layer, okay, that's not it. It took me a while. So I really believe it's about having compassion and gentleness for ourselves if we are working and we're not there yet. It's a journey and it just keeps on going. So the limiting belief that I had that I had realized was preventing me from having that incredible family that I always wanted was that I had a competing intention deep inside of me, even though I was on these dating websites saying, I want to get married, I want to be a mom, I want to have a family. But the little girl within me that was very hurt and very wounded in a family that was very unsafe and filled with violence and all different kinds of abuse had another belief. And that belief inside of her was that family isn't safe. Family isn't safe. And it was like the Moses when the sea parted, and I was just like, oh, holy cow! All this time I've been taking the actions and doing the steps and putting myself out there, but I hadn't tuned into that part of me that had that deep inner truth from within as a little girl. And so getting clear on the limiting belief, what that did for me was that gave me a blueprint and a roadmap to know where to go and where to heal. So the second step, the second G, is going to the root, getting to the root of where that limiting belief comes from. And for me, I knew. I never felt safe in my family of origin. I never knew when somebody was going to hurt me. I never knew when somebody was going to leave. And to that little girl, family equaled people hurting you and not being safe and people leaving. And so of course that competing intention was inside. It made so much sense to me. And so as I was doing that deep inner work, I got to step 3, and a third G is grieving. Allowing yourself to grieve. It sucks. It's not fun. I'm not going to paint it in a little bow and wrap it up and say, hey, it's tough work. But I heard other women say that anything worth having is worth putting your whole heart into. And so grieving, that third G is grieving. Getting to the depth of my soul and telling that little girl, I call her Renee, because that was my nickname growing up, is to say, Renee, I see you and I hear you. And I am so sorry that that was your truth and that was your story. And that sucked ass. And I'm sorry. And letting all the shame and the pain and the guilt and the blame and feeling like that was in my DNA and my core and my cell and in every part of my body, letting that come to the surface. And letting that little girl, letting me know that none of that was ever your fault, sweetheart. None of those circumstances, none of the way that those people treated you was ever anything to do with you. And so grieving and going through that journey was also about uncovering what did I think that my experience meant about me. And as I really started to uncover and understand those nuggets in there, I started to be able to reparent that little girl in me and to tell her that, you know what, this was your story and this was your truth and I get that. And I am here for every feeling of shame and rage and anger and pissed offness, and it is all freaking okay, and I get it. You can be hitting pillows and going to the batting cage and hitting that baseball bat from now till the cows come home. I hear you and I am with you. And what I know for you, sweet little Renee, is that we can rewrite your story. Because what you experienced back then wasn't your choice, it wasn't fair, and it is not your birthright or destiny. Can anyone relate? Yeah. It is not your birthright or destiny for suffering, for pain, for feeling unworthy, for feeling less than, for feeling that you're trapped in a situation or a dynamic that hurts you from deep within. There is inner freedom. And now what I am so grateful and blessed to do is that I work as an empowerment coach to help take you through your personal steps of getting to where you are and to your personal freedom, just like I got to my beautiful family. And the fourth step is really the magic that I know every single beautiful, brave, spiritual warrior in here can do, and that is to rewrite your story. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Says the Jewish girl on stage. So, rewriting your story is about telling your little girl, about me telling May, you know what? You can have a safe family. You can have a family where you laugh and there's joy and you can be the biggest dork in the world because guess what you are? And you can have a man that loves you, that protects you, that makes you feel safe, and that gives you that feeling that you are worthy, and that you are whole, and that you are complete, and that you are worth it. And I had to get to that place within myself to have a partner show up for me that would mirror that back to me. That I was whole, that I was complete, that I was good enough, and that I deserve, that I believe to have a relationship that would be safe. And so if we can pop up that amazing, beautiful picture again, I do want to share that my incredible friend of 21 years, Linda Martin, was there the night that I met this hot rockin' man. I was on Match.com, I was on JDate, I was on eHarmony, I mean, you name it, I was on it. I had no shame. And when I went out, we were roommates at the time, and when I went out with him and I came home, there was something different. And she asked for details. She's like, well, give me the dirt, because I mean, I always spilled everything. And I don't really remember this, but she says I kind of held back, and she's like, and I said, it was really good. And she said, yeah, oh, please. Oh, this is an open forum. All right, this is an open forum.
So suddenly she wasn't talking. And she used to tell me everything, and then she said, oh, it was fine. And I thought, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah. So our first date, we laughed, we had pizza, we crashed a fancy party at the Hotel del Coronado. Like, who does that, right? And I just had this feeling he was my person. I just really did. And so that dream came true. We got married 5 years ago. And then through the grace of God and everything in the world that is good, we were able to adopt our beautiful monkey 15 months ago. We got to be in the delivery room as his birth mom, who made that incredibly brave choice to place him with us, allowed us to be a part of the journey from the very beginning. So I thank God every day for all the gifts and all the blessings in my life. And what I know is that it is possible for every single one of us. Because if I look at my story, and I remember May, under the stairs, feeling so afraid, not knowing when the abuse would stop, not knowing when there would be a moment that I would ever feel safe again. And that I can stand up in front of you now and say that I am living my dream, and that I honestly, I'm not perfect. I have my crap days. There's days that, are not amazing. But I love myself from the inside out, and I feel worthy. I feel worthy as a human, as a woman. And I have been, and will continue to my last breath, reparent that little girl within me that didn't feel safe, that didn't get what she wanted. And I know that I can give that to her now. And I know that every single one of you in here can give that to your little girl. And I would be honored, and I would be so blessed to be a guide for you on your journey. So if you would like, I'd be happy to talk with you outside. And again, I'm just going to recap those 4 G's. Getting clear on your limiting beliefs. going to the root of where it stemmed from. Grieving. And really giving your little girl the time and that space to heal and be seen. And then giving yourself the gift of a new story. And feeling into the magic that that story is happening now. Before I ever met my husband, I would, for 5 minutes every day, put myself in a feeling state that I was already with him. I didn't know what he looked like, I didn't know anything about him, but I just felt it in my gut that there was this incredible man that I was meant to be with. And so when we visualize and when we feel into that as if it's happening now, we also can speed up that process of drawing that energy to us. So thank you all so much for letting me be up here today.